Hello and welcome back to the Patient First podcast. I, of course, am excited that you are here. And I want to recount a little story today based on a lecture that I did for one of the dental schools. We had about 300 dental students on this lecture. And I just love talking to not only dental students, but also the professors because they have such a great perspective on the industry that's very different than practicing dentists. And it's kind of fresh eyes almost on the way we do things. And this lecture I was doing, it's called Dentistry 2.0. It's a timeline of every technology in dentistry, split into three different categories. Level one is basically looking as if you were an alien from outer space and you knew nothing about dentistry, but you knew about human culture today, just outside of healthcare. What would you expect a dental practice to deliver today? That's level one. Level two is putting you ahead of the pack. Then level three are emerging technologies, things that probably don't make sense unless you have level one and level two covered. It's frankly a very eye-opening lecture because you look at things that everybody's looking at, like 3D printing, and we would put that in the level three category because you should really. There's a lot of other technologies that I would say you should have prior to putting 3D printing in your practice today. But I digress. What I wanted to talk about today was one of the students asked me a question. They said, "What patient experiences should offices deliver today?" And I gave my question based on the level one. And I think that I wanted to recount that today a little bit today. Because if you're thinking today about what should I do in my practice to move things forward, maybe your practice has hit a plateau and you're looking to get to the next level. Maybe you're thinking, boy, there's all of these things I can focus on. What is the one thing that I should focus on? Well, today I'm going to talk about what I believe that is. If you think about the world at large, what do most people think about when they're talking about the average patient? How have things changed? Well, primarily, I think people say that people's attention spans are much smaller than they used to be. I think you'll probably agree with me on that one, right? Uh, Everybody, my own attention span, my family's attention span, our patients, our team members, everybody's attention. We get so many distractions all of the time. So, how can you use that to your advantage in your dental practice? I believe it is focusing on one aspect of dentistry, of dental care delivery that puts patients first, right? That is convenience. Look for ways to make your dentistry that you deliver more convenient. Something that Amazon has done like is too well almost. That's why I don't know about you, but if I go on Amazon and I can't find something and get it delivered the next day or that same day, what is this thing? I just ordered a battery for a door today and I have to wait. I had to pay for shipping and wait for 3 days. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just unreal in today's culture. Yet, what do we force our patients to do all day, every day in our practices, right? So, convenience is vitally important to give to your patients. What does that mean? What are the actionable items that you can incorporate into your practice right away tomorrow for either free or next to free right away to make your practice more convenient? Well, number one, two, and three, I would focus on is easy payments. Because not only this is convenient for your patients, but it's getting you paid, right? It's like payments and patients all in one great convenient category. So text messaging and emailing payment billing to your patients is convenient. What gets in front of people gets paid, right? If it's in a stack of papers that you spent a lot of money uh, to send that letter to the patient, and then you expect them to open it up and read it and then take out their checking account, and that's so old school now. Text and email your patients their bill. If it pings them on their phone right under their nose, they'll likely click on a link and pay it. Makes it very, very easy and convenient. That's what people want to do. What gets seen gets paid. Also, being able to schedule directly on your website. So, having a way for people to request an appointment directly from your website. 40% of all appointments are requested off hours. So, things like emergency treatment and appointment requests directly from your website is vitally important. So, really focusing on having your website set up for patients to conveniently communicate with you at a time that's convenient for them, right? I told this story before, but I came up with teledentistry because the teledentistry emergency application, because I was at my son's baseball game and he was about ready to hit, and he was up to base to hit, and up to the plate, and my phone rang, and I knew the conversation. I knew the phone number as soon as I saw it. It was a patient that I just did a crown on, and I knew the conversation we were going to have because I'd done a crown on her several times. You may have heard this story before, but I looked at it and I went, I know the conversation we're going to have. So I have the options of either picking up the phone, having the conversation that I knew we were going to have. I could let it go to voicemail, then play telephone tag with her, or I could ignore it completely and have her be pissed off and probably leave the practice. So I picked up the phone, had the preordained conversation that I knew we were going to have. I missed my son's double, and I decided I'm never doing this again. So we created the online form for you to be able to take an image, have the patient take an image and send it to you, and just you could look at it just like a text message, communicate with the patient right there from your phone. Uh, that's convenience, not just for your patients, but for you. Same thing with the payments. Rather than stuffing envelopes and doing boring, mundane tasks at your practice, being able to just go in on a Friday, click a few buttons, and send all of your accounts receivable a text message or an email saying, here's your bill, pay it right now. And then you can just sit back and watch the money come in, is incredibly convenient for your team, for you, and for your patients. Usually in dentistry, when it's done right, everybody wins, and convenience is no different. Another way that you can step up maybe to the level two type of technology, something that's a little bit more difficult to incorporate, is CAD CAM, single visit dentistry, or I like to call it no visit. Because if you have a patient in the hygiene chair with a broken cusp, and they need to have a crown, and you have the capacity in your office to take the patient from your hygiene chair into your operative chair and do that CAD CAM crown for the hygiene patient. They came in with a broken tooth, they wanted to have it fixed, and they leave with a permanent crown. There was no additional visit. That's when you blow people away. That's what people are going from wanting to expecting today. Look, I think that there's technologies today that, again, if you'd never been to a dental practice in the last 20 years, you've been walking around, going to restaurants and going to auto body shops where they let you take a picture of your damaged car and they give you an estimate. You go around planet Earth today, and you're looking at what's available in the marketplace. That is what people are looking for in dentistry today. And I think it's shifting from a wanting to have to an expecting to have, particularly when it comes to payments, when it comes to being able to send you a message outside of office hours or emergency contact. So if you're not set up already, go to toothapps.com. For less than you're probably paying today for your website hosting, you can get all the technology added to your website, including payments and scheduling and emergency forms and intake forms directly from your website. It's vitally important, I think, if to meet people where they are today. If you can order a car online in 20 minutes, you should be able to make an appointment, pay your bill online at your dental practice. If not, I think you're literally leaving money back in the database of your practice management software versus just texting and emailing people, all at once. So if you that's my number one recommendation for you today, is if you're looking at a way to level up your practice, there's one thing you should look at, and it is making things convenient for your patients, but also convenient for your team. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to talking with you next week on the Patient First Podcast.